Talk for a moment about Jonathan Swift's book, Gulliver's Travels. Probably one of the most surprising thing about the book is that it's not indeed a children's book, even though it's been made into a children's story in several movies. There have been dozens and dozens of children's versions of it, usually centering on the first book, in which Gulliver visits Lilliput, the land of the tiny people only about 6 inches tall. But after you have read it, you will see that there's many things in the original that you probably would be a little bit uncomfortable about reading to your 6-year-old. Obviously, the book underneath it all is a tremendous political satire, or a satire on the entire culture that Jonathan Swift was born into and was working in. Now, he sets the satire. He does something rather similar to what was done in the old television series Star Trek, in which a ship goes out to remote parts of the galaxy and discovers these worlds that really could be real for all we know. We don't know anything about distant parts of the galaxy. And on those worlds are played out versions of things that affect us here on Earth. In Swift's time, the entire Pacific Ocean was virtually unknown. So all of these islands that Gulliver goes to and all of these civilizations that he visits could indeed exist. For all the reader back in England knows, there really is a land of people 6 inches tall. And in the next book, The Voyage to Brobdingnag, maybe there really was a land where people were 60 feet tall and able to carry our poor little Lemuel Gulliver around in their hand. Now, Swift prefaces his book with volume of the works containing travels into several remote nations of the world in 4 parts, viz. A Voyage to Lilliput, 2, A Voyage to Brobdingnag, and so forth. So when we read this, we must realize that Gulliver is going through a world that could be real to the reader. And we need to notice the things that Swift does to make it all seem very familiar, even though the situation itself is totally fantastical. For example, what are the things, and one of your questions is about this, what are the things that they discover that the man mountain has in his pocket? It's kind of a puzzle because they're told from the point of view of the Lilliputian, the little fantasy creatures, only that tall, but they have to figure out what that thing is. Is it a comb? Is it a pistol? What is it that he has got? And notice how often Swift gives us the relative sizes of things, how he compares things in Lilliput in size to things of our own world. Also, the great the great interest in food, in things to eat, how many little tiny animals Gulliver has to eat, and how that becomes a great weight on the nation of Lilliput, trying to support the man mountain before they realize that they can turn him into a war machine. A war machine with which to strike at their enemies, Blefuscu, probably standing for France. And Gulliver goes out, and they want him to crush all the Blefuscuians and destroy their fleet and crush all the loathsome little insects who live across the water for them, much as the English would have wanted. One of the last questions here is, are the Lilliputians better or worse than ordinary people? They seem awfully small-minded, just as they are small in stature, and awfully bloodthirsty. Even Gulliver, who seems willing to go along with nearly anything, including excluding being blinded so that he can be a more efficient war machine for them. Even Gulliver pulls back, doesn't destroy the Blefuscuian fleet, and simply tows the entire fleet home across the water. It's quite a book. It's an amazing book, all 4 parts of it. Thank you.